somebody that maybe indirectly announcing his 2028 presidency and campaign, and this is somebody that you may be very supportive of, very excited about, Hunter Biden. Hunter Biden just did a show this last week.
This tape is gold. Just spend the rest of the podcast and play it on a loop. Just keep playing
Rob, which one is this? This is which one?
So I have 4 clips. I have Hunter Biden talking about illegal immigrants and who's going to clean your hotel room and wash your dishes. I also have where he explains whose cocaine was found in the White House. There's also a clip of Hunter Biden talking about the differences between crack and crack cocaine.
Because it matters.
We also have Joe Biden's poor debate performance due to sleeping pills.
Can you go to the one that I put up on Twitter where he curses 15 times in a span of a minute 10?
I think that's this one, George Clooney and Jake Tapper.
Go for it. Go for it.
But fuck him.
Hide your kids. Hide your
fuck
kids.
him and everybody around him. Or not to be fucking nice. Number one, I agree with Quentin Tarantino. Fucking George Clooney is not a fucking actor.
6.
He is a fucking
7.
I don't know what he is. He's a brand. And by the way, and God bless him. You know what? He supposedly treats his friends really well. You know what I mean? Buys them things. And he's got a really great place in Lake Como. And he's great friends with Barack Obama. Fuck you. What do you have to do with fucking anything? Why do I have to fucking listen to you? What right do you have to step on a man who's given 52 years of his fucking life to the service of this country and decide that you, George Clooney, are going to take out basically a full-page ad in the fucking New York Times to me and James Carville, who hasn't run a race in 40 fucking years, and David Axelrod, who had one success in his political life, and that was Barack Obama. And that was because of Barack Obama, not because of fucking David Axelrod. And David Plouffe, and all of these guys, and the Pod Save America guys, who were junior fucking speechwriters on Barack Obama's Senate staff, who've been dining out on the relationship with him for years, making millions of dollars. The Anita Dunns of the world, who's made $40, $50 million off the Democratic Party. They're all going to insert their judgment over a man who has figured out, unlike anybody else, how to get elected to the United States Senate over 7 times, how to pass more legislation than any president in history, how to have a better midterm election than anybody in history, and how to garner...
This is a different clip than the one on Twitter that I had. It's a different one. But, Tom, how do you process this? How do you process a guy that has been quiet, all of a sudden comes out, drops F-bomb? It's as if, his dad finally gave him permission to be himself, and he no longer has to worry about dad saying, don't curse that much, don't do crack, don't do cocaine, be careful, don't sleep with your brother's wife. These are bad things to do, son. These are not good things to do. And he finally feels free. How do you process this yourself?
I don't know how anybody processes Hunter Biden, although I'd like to see the clip where he's a drug sommelier. That's sort of interesting because I think that's sort of on brand and believable. No, you know what's funny? Not under the influence of drugs, apparently sober, he comes out as like this angry independent. It's kind of shocking. It's like, wait a minute, this is it's like your brain's trying to process 7 non sequiturs in a row. It's like, wait a minute, do you really feel that way? Or are you just angry? He sounds like a sobered up, angry, bitter guy that says, how dare do all these people undermine my dad? Because the whole point gets down to it, to won this many Senate elections, and then I did this and passed this much legislation and got this through the midterm. That's what I see. I see an angry son who manages to sober up, sit down with a podcaster out in the yard, and just kind of cut loose. That's what I see.
I wouldn't. By the way, he's saying he's sober. I would pay money and bet a lot lot that he definitely...
He doesn't look like he's on drugs. He just looks like he drinks a lot of water with vitamin C. That's
exactly. Very healthy.
Allegedly sober.
But Sean, when I see
more
this,
sober than we've seen him in other clips. Let's leave it there.
Yeah, but you know what I see when I see this, Sean? I see a guy whose daddy pardoned him for crimes going back how long? How many years? You actually tweeted something like that, right? Yeah. That's a guy that says, you know what? I can do what I want. I can say what I want. And who's going to do it? The party's
2014,
done.
I think, is
2014. The party's done. Okay, this is just an example of what the hell is going on. And for all the kids out there, this is what doing drugs and doing crack does to your freaking brain. He looks very, very rough. But when you know you have a get-out-of-jail-free card, he could say anything. He could say, literally, I did this with my father. I did all this with China. I smoked the drugs. All the footage of all the girls and all the stuff that I did, weighing crack cocaine, I did it. And what are you going to do about it? That's his attitude.
How do you see it?
It's He's a very angry man. I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
He should be the happiest guy on earth because I think he was in deep trouble. I spent a lot of time dealing with him. Zero experience Hunter. That's my nickname for him. I mean, when he went on Good Morning America and they say, well, do you have any experience in energy? No. Oil? No. Gas? No. Okay, you're getting paid, millions and millions of dollars with no experience. Then the CEFC, the Chinese energy conglomerate, and the WhatsApp message, all of this money, James Comer says it's $20 to $30 million that they got in. No experience, problem. They got away with it to me, and from my liking, I'm not too happy about it. But preemptive pardon or not, I don't think it's going to matter. Here's the interesting part, though, is that even though he got that pardon, he can be brought in before the House Oversight Committee, and he could be put under oath. He can't plead the fifth because he got the pardon. So now we'd have to talk.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wait.
I'd like that.
You can't plead the fifth because you got the pardon?
Correct.
Is that the exchange you make?
That's it. Yeah.
Or is that the law?
That he cannot go before that committee and plead the fifth.
Why is
anybody that got the pardon? I don't know why. I mean, James Comer confirmed it to me on my show.
Really? That's very interesting.
Because
Isn't
the
it?
Fifth
Wow.
Amendment says I am not compelled or required to incriminate myself by stating these things. And so because you don't have to in our justice system to be a witness against yourself. You don't have to. That's part of what the Fifth Amendment is. So the Founding Fathers envisioned, let's use a hypothetical example, that the British would come over here and still be really pissed off, just hypothetically, and start putting you in leg irons and chains and squeezing your bones and breaking your fingers to get you to testify because the king was upset. And when they put all this together, that's where torture, unreasonable imprisonment and torture clause in our Constitution, and that's where the Fifth came from. It all came from, sitting back and saying, we're not going to live in a criminal justice system where you are tortured to confess or you have to, testify against yourself. That's what the Fifth is. But now you've been given a pardon. Okay, we've been given a pardon, so there is no self-incrimination here, Pat. None. Who told you that door was unlocked, and who told you that box of papers was there? You can't now take the fifth on that. You say, well, those documents were... You got to talk.
Here's one. You want to throw another monkey in the wrench there? Or
Please.
Here's the interesting part. If you read the New York Times piece on the auto pen issue, and basically we learned that Biden only set down criteria for commutation and pardons, but didn't make the specific decision. And then the decision to put it through the auto pen was not made by him, which, if is all true, and hopefully we'll get to the bottom of that too. Again, all these issues we talk about, we want answers tomorrow, but it'll take an investigation. But it might invalidate commutations and pardons. That would be interesting.
That would be extremely interesting. So, Rob, can you play the next clip on the one on Twitter that I had where he's talking about if I was the president? There's a clip of he actually says, let's just say if I run in 2 years, 3 years, I don't know, 5 years. That's the clip right there, Rob. Just play that clip.
And he's somehow convinced all of us that these people are the fucking criminals? White men in America are 45 more times likely to commit a fucking violent crime than an immigrant. And the media says, well, you got David Axelrod and, Rahm fucking Emanuel. So fucking smart, Rahm Emanuel. And so we got to understand that these people are really mad.
This is gold.
We got to appeal to these white voters.
Gold.
Rahm, the only people that fucking appealed to those fucking white voters was Joe Biden, 81 years old. And he got 81 million votes, and he did not because he appeased their fucking Trumpian sense, but because he challenged it. And he said, you can be an 81-year-old Catholic from fucking Scranton that doesn't understand it, but still has empathy for transgender people and immigrants. Then nobody said, oh, Joe Biden's going to turn us into a socialist state, no matter how much they said it. But these guys think that we need to run away from all values in order for us to lead. I say, fuck you. How are we getting those people back from fucking El Salvador? Because I'll tell you what, if I became president in 2 years from now, or 4 years from now, or 3 years from now, I would pick up the phone and call the fucking president of El Salvador and say, you either fucking send them back or I'm going to fucking invade.
Oh, my God.
Crime,
oh, boy.
what they're doing. He's a fucking dictator thug.
Bukele or Trump?
Wow.
Both.
Both. Oh my
I'm
God.
going to invade.
Let me tell you something about this mother effing guy. This guy effing needs his own effing podcast immediately.
Oh.
I can't look away. This is a train wreck, wrapped in a mystery, wrapped in a riddle, wrapped in a crackhead. And we're going to need a little bit more of this, Hannity. What I also am reading from this situation right here is he's clinging and defending his father's legacy. It's very clear here when he says Rahm Emanuel, where it says George Clooney, where he says fucking David Axelrod, this piece of shit. Biden didn't want to leave. And we all think that it's Jill Biden who's basically saying, no, honey, you did great. Don't you think Hunter would have been like, you fucking get in there, Joe Biden, and you fucking keep killing it for this country, and you fucking... Like, he's angry here, clearly.
By the way,
and they took the rug out of his family.
What
and
about
they
the
put Kamala in
bullshit
there.
over Ambien?
Yeah.
My father took an Ambien. Now, it just so happens.
Before the debate?
Yeah,
I'm about to ready to start this
Ambien before a
I'm about to
debate.
start this podcast. Good night. What are you doing?
Is this it, Rob?
Yes, sir.
This was just pure gold. Go ahead, Rob.
It's all
I'll
gold.
tell you what, I know exactly what happened in that debate. He flew around the world, basically, in the mileage that he could have flown around the world 3 times.
Yeah.
He's 81 years old. He's tired as shit. They give him Ambien to be able to sleep. He gets up on the stage, and he looks like he's a deer in the headlights. And it feeds into every fucking story that anybody wants to tell. And Jake
that's what it
Tapper,
was,
with
yeah.
literally how many anonymous sources. If this was a conspiracy, Andrew, you know this, somehow the entirety of a White House in which you literally living on top of each other has kept their mouth shut about, like what? And what's conspiracy?
Yeah.
That Joe Biden got old? Yeah, he got old. He got old before our eyes.
And by the way, he's, you know why he's full of it? Do you remember before the debate, there was a 1-week vacation,
Bingo.
right, Sean, that Biden was literally laying on the beach. He wasn't taking Ambien.
MIA.
He was rested. Exactly, he was rested. MIA
Bro,
for
I
his
will
entire-
not sit here and have you slander Hunter Biden. He would never tell a lie in his life.
Never. He's the truth. He's a truth teller.
Have you ever interviewed Hunter Biden?
No, but I offered him last night an hour on TV and 3 hours on radio. I'd give him 10.
Of course.
You go home. Just let the
I could
camera-
just play that on
Did
a
he
loop
respond
for
to
the next
you?
week.
Love
I think
it.
it'll
Did he
rate.
respond?
You could take the summer off
Not
and
yet.
just run clips.
Okay.
You know, what infuriates me, though, on a serious note about this is the most preventable national security disaster happened because of his father. And he's talking about all these people that do all these work for all these Americans. Okay, for people that do have money. And I spent the early part of my adult life with no money and living paycheck to paycheck. And during that time of my life, I was cutting my own lawn, washing my own dishes, cleaning my own clothes. And I would argue that's what most of the country does. So, this idea that, we're taking away jobs. What the left never does on the issue of immigration, which infuriates me, the most preventable national security disaster ever. We have known terrorists, assassination squads in the country. We got murderers, rapists, other violent criminals, cartel members, gang members. How come they never talk about that on the left? How come they never talk about, Lake and Riley? How you don't have a heart, a conscience, or a soul, in my view, if you're at a joint session speech of a president and Democrats can't stand for the family of Lake and Riley or Jocelyn Nungary. I interviewed Jocelyn Nungary's mother. I know Rachel Morin's mother of 5. But you think of all of these people, they never talk about it, ever. 12, 20 million, we don't actually know the real number. All I know is they did it, they lied about it, just like they lied about his cognitive state, like they lied about the economy. You go back, I want to talk about Epstein, I want to talk about all these other issues, but man, what's happened in 6 months as of Sunday compared to where we were a year ago, and it was about a year ago when Trump, nearly got assassinated, came within a millimeter of losing his life. What a difference 6 months makes. What a difference a year makes. So it's infuriating that part does not get talked about.
They won't address it because it'll ruin the narrative. Why would you mess up my opinions with facts, sir?
Oh, yeah.
Why would you do something like that?
Was it the State of the Union, Sean, where it was the same one where, Lake and Riley's family and all them, and then the real testament, besides that, which I've been speaking about that forever, DJ Daniel, the little black kid, the 13-year-old black kid that had cancer,
my God.
6 times, not one of them could stand for this. I'm bawling, and they're just sitting there like this, not clapping for
you
that kid.
You don't even have to stand. Just clap.
Clap for the kid.
Give a snap.
How cool is that when Sean Curran made him a Secret Service agent?
Oh my God.
Because that's his dream.
Oh my God.
I want to know the sad part of this? Up to that point, he had beat cancer. Apparently, he had a recurrence.
He has another one.
Pray for this kid.
Yeah.
Wow.
He has cancer again.
The Vault Conference, September 8th through the 11th. Nearly 12,000 people will be coming this year, but we have 3 guest speakers that I'll be announcing here to you, and it's going to be massive. And they're all intentionally invited for different reasons. This was all intentional, and there's going to be a handful of massive announcements being made at the Vault Conference. If you're somebody that's running a business owner, the great thing about the Vault is you'll be having a conversation with somebody at the event, and you just run into them at the store, and they're an aspiring entrepreneur. Then you go to talk to somebody else that they're an executive of a Fortune 500 company. Then you go talk to somebody else who just exited their company and sold it for $700 million. Then you go talk to somebody else that's still with a big private equity company that's trying to deploy hundreds of millions of dollars. Then you go talk to somebody else from Goldman Sachs that's a money manager. The types of people. Then you go talk to somebody else that's a podcaster, YouTuber, that you recognize their faces. The types of people that show up to the Vault makes it a reason why this is becoming a number one business conference in America, that you go to actually get strategies that you leave, you implement, you can win in life, business, all of it combined together. So the 3 speakers that we have are the following. Number 1 speaker. For me, you guys know I'm a big fan of the movie Air, and you guys know I'm a big fan of anybody that's a strong negotiator that's done some of the biggest deals ever. We were able to get David Falk, Michael Jordan's agent, manager, who signed the Nike deal, who, by the way, in 1982, he was the first person to sign a multi-million-dollar deal for James Worthy. He was the first agent to sign a $100 million deal with Alonzo Mourning. Michael Jordan gives him so much credit. I can't wait to sit down and talk to him. He was one of the most entertaining characters in the movie Air, story of Michael Jordan. Number 2 speaker that we'll have at the Vault Conference is the OG content creator, brand person, influencer, who became a billionaire in 1999, who understood what it looked like to be in front of a camera. Martha Stewart will be at the Vault Conference.
Yep.
So Martha Stewart will be at the Vault Conference. We're excited about that. She had one of the best documentaries that everybody talks about, and I'll be sitting down with her, interviewing her at the Vault Conference. A lot of you fellas that want to bring your wives down, just let them know Martha Stewart's going to be there. They're going to want to come and hear and see what she has to say. And last but not least, the keynote speaker at the Vault Conference that won't be speaking for 30 minutes, not 45 minutes, not an hour, not an hour and 15 minutes. For 2 hours, the one and only Tony Robbins will be at the Vault Conference. Tony Robbins will be at the Vault Conference.
Tony.
So we're excited about that. This is a very, very big deal because there will be multiple big announcements being made there. Some of you guys are going to get a chance to meet the guests that are going to be there. Having said that, Rob, you can play the clip here right now. If you haven't been to the conference, if you haven't yet registered, go to the Vault Conference, get registered, get your ticket, bring your spouse, bring your partner, bring your other employees and executives with you. Come spend 3.5 days with us at the Gaylord Orlando. And at the end of the event, the people that get CEO tickets, we're shutting down Universal Studios. You can go on Velocicoaster as many times as you want to. You can go on the rides. We'll be hanging out. Literally, we're shutting down the entire Universal Studios at the end for all the CEOs to have some fun. You're going to see 58-year-olds act like they're 16 years old, and we're doing business at the same time, which makes it kind of exciting. Again, go to thevaultconference.com website, thevaultconference.com. Get your ticket. This is by far the most important time for you to not go through this process by yourself. Come network with nearly 12,000 people in one room and take your business and your life to the next level. Cannot wait to see you there. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.